Hello everybody, it's Darkstrider, the YouTube assassin, and a lot of people are new to my channel and also new to Assassin's Creed Origins as they're just getting around to buying it and playing it. So a lot of messages that I keep getting are things like, this doesn't work, this is patched, this is nerfed, especially on like a lot of my older videos. So am going to today give you a rundown of like what is and isn't possible, things that you can and can't do in Assassin's Creed Origins, just to help everyone along. And some of you are going to find that this is helpful, and even some people who are veterans of the game, you might find something that you didn't even know was possible in the game. So for starters, number one of the questions that I keep getting is, how do I level up? And I'm only level like 8 or something like that. So in answer to that, the absolute best way to level up in this game is just to play the game, honestly and seriously. All you have to do is go around, find every question mark, uncover every fogged part of the map. Okay, everything in these areas will give you experience points and rewards that are pretty much on par with your current level. Okay, there is no fast way to do it. I mean, there could be, but it makes no sense because, like you're level 40 and you still don't have the hidden blade. That's kind of crazy. So honestly, play through the game. A really determined person could play through the entire game and even beat it in like 6 hours if you just did like all the main mission constraints. But doing all the side missions, all the question marks, and uncovering every part of the map will actually help you level at a faster rate than you could ever think of. All right, so don't neglect that. Don't try to look for a fast way. Just play through the game like normal. Number two, when you get to a higher level, like around 30, 40, you can come over here to the Apollonia docks, which are in Cyrene. Okay, here's the map. You're all the way the upper left-hand corner, okay, in Kyrenia. You come to these docks here, and you turn the enemy scaling off. Otherwise, there won't be animals in each of these cages. And what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you've got your firebomb equipped, and you're going to come and you're just going to go and just firebomb all these animals that are in these cages. Okay? You'll have to deal with some guards too, but you firebomb all the animals that are in those cages. You'll get the experience points for the animals. You'll also earn a lot of animal parts like you see. The gear, the claws, the furs, things like that. Skins. And that's not it. Once you're done with this side, you go to the other side. And you'll find more over here. And you see how some of the cages are empty? That's because I have the enemy auto-scaling on. You have to turn it off in order to actually have this happen. And if you're level 40, it's great. If you're level 55, maybe not so much. But you can get lots and lots of materials that you could sell off for drachma. Okay, and then once you're done with this area and you kill off all the enemies, what you're going to want to do is either jump into a fire and kill yourself, or you go to, if you have a quest available, you're going to go to your quest and you're just going to reset the quest objective, as you see down in the lower left-hand corner of the screen there. If you have any quest active, we'll activate this. You hit the triangle on the PS4, or you're going to hit the Y button on the Xbox 360, and it'll reset this whole thing. You'll respawn in an area at the front of this whole spot, like right outside the first set of cages. And once you do that, you'll be able to go again and just go through and get all this stuff. So this is one of the best places. And some people will argue that it is the best farming spot. But I also have another one that Now this camping spot is actually my favorite. Works a lot better when you're higher levels. And basically what you're going to do, you're going to come to this area over here. All right, Saqqara Nome. You're going to see this pyramid right here, which is going to have the Tomb of Dozier. And you're going to head to the west. You're going to come right here where you see this little yellow spot right there. And that's where you're going to land. Now, you're going to see it's got a giant rock, a tree, and a campfire there. All right. There are going to be a bunch of guys that come and converge on this spot. All right. If you don't see them here, all you have to do is use Dusk Till Dawn and they'll appear. So that's going to bring me straight into number 3, which is going to involve fire. Okay. I don't know if any of you knew, but fire is affected by certain things, just like in previous entries. So we could use the sleep darts or the poison darts, throw them into the fire. And I'll show you right now what I mean here. All right, I'm going to throw this into the fire. You're going to see a big cloud. And I'm going to Dusk Till Dawn. Now, here comes all the bad guys. They all show up. And they're all asleep, it looks like. Look at that. So that just makes my life easier because all I have to do is take out all the guys with the shields like that big shield. All right, and you see how it dropped 500 drachma in the corner there? That's what happens. This guy with the little shield, not so much. But you can do that with, I just did, throw the stuff in the fire, Dusk Till Dawn. These guys will all appear. You'll just take them all out, or you'll only take out the guys that have the giant shields. And then what you'll do is you'll go right into that fire, step in there, and, you know, just die, or if you have an open quest, again, you just reset the quest and you're back nearby and you can start getting all these guys again. All right. Now, the only thing with this is that you're going to have to do it when you're a higher level. If you do it at like a lower level, you'll only get 250 drachma per money carrier. If you do it when you're like 55, you're going to get 500 drachma per money carrier that you take out. Sometimes you'll find 2 all the way to 4 money carriers that are here. So to me, this is like a great spot to farm drachma. But again, like I said, fire is affected by various things. I could actually come here and throw a sleep dart like I showed you, Dusk Till Dawn, and everybody in the area is going to be affected. The other thing that you can do is you can also go and use a poison dart. Okay, poison darts, once you use that and throw it in the fire, everybody who is around this now is poisoned. Okay, it doesn't just work in campfires, it'll also work on torches. Sometimes, like I take out guards, you know, if they're near a torch, throw it at the torch, they don't hear you. You know, the sleeping thing goes off, they all pass out. You're free to assassinate or just walk past them if you have to. All right. It'll also work like you saw how some of those guys were holding arrows and they had them on fire. If you're quick enough and if you're skilled enough, you could actually throw it at that fire arrow and have the same effect. So just keep that in mind, all right? That's actually a pretty good trick, and it'll affect and harm your enemies, and it just really, really makes it a lot easier. So moving along, number 4 is that a lot of the older farming spots, like this lion farming spot, was removed or nerfed. Okay, if you come over here to the Horus Nome, you would see that there is a spot over here that you can fast travel to, and then there's a lion's den over here. And as you can see, there's like a bunch of different lions all over the place. And there used to be a way that you could just burn through and myrtleize. Is myrtleize a word? It is now. You could myrtleize anywhere from like 5 to 10 lions in this area, and if you did it quick, they were all like together instead of spread out like this. You could get them all together, you could myrtleize them all quick, and then as soon as you did that, you could do the same trick that I showed you before where you go to a quest and you just reset the quest objective, or you could even just die in a fire or something like that, and it would respawn you in this area and you'd be able to fight the lions again. Okay? They removed the spot so that way the game wasn't so easy. You weren't able to like get a bunch of lion skins and sell them off in order to make like tons of drachma. They actually reduced a lot of that stuff. So a lot of these farming spots, are not on the map. But number 5, if you do find one of these farming spots that are still intact, okay, they have a reduction in what the animal parts are worth. All right. So you used to be able to go and you would be able to like kill like a leopard or a lion. And let's see, the value right now of a leopard fur is 44 each. I think that initially they were like 100 something drachma each. So people would go nuts going and farming all these skins. Same thing with this, with the lion claws, all the parts. All these things had a much higher value, and then all of a sudden they reduced the value in order to stretch out the game. Originally, there was going to be like a lot of support. They were talking about making this game last a year or more. So it was kind of shocking and sad that, every time one of us YouTubers found like a little farming spot and we showed you guys, and it was just like, hey, look at what we found. Look at what you can do. Look at how much you can make. They decided to go in and they actually patched it later on. And, it really was kind of like messed up, but I see why they did it. They really didn't want people, just having too easy of a time as they played through the game. They didn't want, like the game to be over quick. They wanted to give it a lot of life. And, sometimes that's what ends up happening. You end up, just seeing something and they'll nerf it. So it really was a pain. But, if you do find any of these spots, just remember you can farm, and you could farm for hours on end. And in some cases, you could make like 70,000 drachma. In some cases, 120,000 drachma, depending on how quick you are, your gear, and, just how much time it takes you to go back and forth. But just remember that a lot of these old farming spots, if you find any videos with farming spots from, like, I'm going to say September to maybe December of 2017, a lot of those are old and outdated. All right? I'm sorry to say it, but they did want to do that just to extend the life of the game. Number 6, and my favorite exploit, the Heka chest trick. The Heka chest trick no longer works. And it's a shame because a lot of you missed out on such a great thing that happened here between Bayek and Retta.
Ready, Commander.
Basically, the way the trick worked was you would come to Retta, you would accept your daily quest, and then you would go out and perform certain constraints that he wanted. Every day it was like a different thing. But the thing is that when you came to him, you would have to deactivate your internet connection, talk to him. He would give you a reward. He would give you 1,500 experience points. And then right after that, you would turn your internet connection back on. You would wait a couple of seconds, and the quest that he just gave you would repopulate. Now, if you already did the thing, then you would be able to talk to him again after turning your internet back off, and you would be able to collect another item. And obviously, it would always be different. So I'm going to tell you honestly, that's how, like, on one of my files, I was able to collect all this stuff, was mostly because I just did the Heka chest trick repeatedly. I got tons and tons of money. I got tons and tons of items, outfits, mounts, things like that. And whatever I didn't need, I could just sell off to him, and I would just raking in the cash. On certain events, you could do it just by standing here next to him and just keep doing it over and over and over again. It would take you like 30 seconds. And in like such a small amount of time, I mean, you would hit like all kinds of levels. You would gain all kinds of ability points. It was absolutely insane. And they actually removed it. Now, whenever you accept his quest, he, sends you on it. You come back, regardless of whether you turn your internet on or off. He ends up giving you the item first, and then he'll give you whatever experience and everything like that. So that was obviously nerfed because they didn't want, everybody just having all of the gear. And a lot of the, just to be fair to them, a lot of the things that Ubisoft puts on the Ubisoft store was available. So instead of making any sort of money off of that, we were kind of robbing them. So I could understand why Ubisoft did that, you know. So this no longer works. If you see any Hecka chess trick videos, just ignore them because they don't work anymore. But I mean, if you want to just look at them just to see how they were done and how you benefited from it, go right ahead, be my guest. It was actually pretty amazing. And sometimes you could just do it, for the whole 24 hours that you had to do that one quest, and you would just rake in the cash, rake in the points. It was insane. Now, my number 7 should be common knowledge, but some people don't understand how it works, so I'm going to explain it to you. After you complete this entire skill tree, okay, and you get every single point, and even before you get every single point, you after you hit like your max level, like my max level is actually 55, as you can see, you can actually keep gaining experience points. Every experience points you gain, it gives you an ability point when you max out the entire bar here. Okay, so when I finish maxing this out, I'll have 3 ability points. Now you can keep collecting ability points and use it in one of the 3 masteries, as you can see. Now, the Hunter Mastery, it helps out with your bow, okay? So as you can see, your bows gain an additional 1%, all right? Doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, when you have it at a high level, you can do some amazing things. I know people that can one-shot a god with just 1 arrow because this is so high. And I've seen it go up really high. I think a good friend of mine, Edward Shore, who he has his own channel, he said that you can get it up to 50,000 points in each mastery, and he actually has it that way. I mean, it's insane and phenomenal. Okay, the warrior class, as you can see, it gives you 1% to for each point that you have there. Okay, there are videos out there where there are some people who are able to one punch an elephant, a war elephant, barehanded. Okay? No weapons. Bare hand. They just go up to the elephant, say, "What's up, my dude?" and just punch it and it goes down. Okay? That's really incredible, honestly. Check those videos out. All right? Now, Seer, this one is actually really important, okay? It gives 1% to your tools, to flesh decay, to poison darts, fire bombs, and fire, okay? Anything that you do in regards to this stuff will actually be really effective, provided that you have a lot of points in this Seer class, okay? I have videos up where I'm in the arena and the horde mode arena, and while I'm there, I'm holding a poison shield and a poison sword, and like I'll either hit somebody and poison them, or they'll just hit my shield and they'll get poisoned, and you'll see them just dropping. And every other contestant that comes into the ring, they go near that body and they just start dropping like flies. I can get all the way to like level 20 something or wave 20 something in that thing without even budging, without even doing anything. And there are videos for that I've done. Go take a look at that. All you have to do is have like some kind of poison gear, and you can go and do all this amazing stuff. All right. That's why earlier in the video, when I showed you when I threw that dart into the fire, it affected a big range of people that were surrounding it. Okay. It's all based on the Seer class. All right. You can kill an entire town just by poisoning one person with flesh decay, and like anybody who walks through it, whether they're civilian or animal or just a guard or something, one of the soldiers, they'll just start dropping like flies, and you can literally kill the entire town. Like, trust me, I've tried it. Okay, now as you see, like if you look at my gear, if you look at the things that I have here, you see my melee damage is 643, my health 3101, range damage 2,000, almost 3,000 for the one, and like 700 for like the second one. Okay, hidden blade damage like almost 7,000. Now that's all attributed to the items that I or to the points that I put in the different classes, okay? If any of you have the Sword of the Duat, as you can see, mine does 1249 damage per second, okay? Like, a lot of people question that when they look at it. They're like, how is your thing so high? And that's the reason why, okay? Yes, you can become overpowered, and yes, some people don't want to play as an overpowered character, which I gotta give it to them, you know? You don't want to be OP, and that's fine. That's why I have multiple files. One I have where I just keep him completely OP. The next one, you know, I just keep him bare minimum so that he's not, you know, OP and I can like play through with no problem, you know, or with problems. It's more of a challenge, you know, and that's not a problem. What the problem is that like when people feel that you have to play a certain way, there is no wrong way to play these games. You play the way you want to. If you want to experience what it's like to just be a god, then you go and you go for that goal. Okay? If you want to one punch a war elephant, go for it. If you want to like one shot everything in the game, you go for it. Okay? And you just continue building up points and putting them into those different classes. All right? In some cases you're like an absolute beast. In other cases you may not want all these points. You may just, you know, want to have one in each and just experience the game as is. It's up to you. But this is just to let you know what you're capable of with the ability points. And that's what I wanted to showcase to you. Number 8 is carbon crystals. Now, by Anubis, you guys ask me about this a lot. Not that I mind, it's my job after all, but this is like one of the biggest questions I get is carbon crystals. Now, the easiest way to find them is actually through the DLC, because starting with the hidden ones, like, you find them everywhere. But if you don't have the hidden ones DLC and you're still in the main game, I still have a way to find them. What you're going to do basically is you're going to go to any of these kind of areas that, you know, guards are at. You'll either see a 2 or 3 spearhead area, okay? This one over here, this one over here, and then also various little areas where you actually have to loot treasure, okay? Because it'll be in the loot treasure areas as well, especially if there's more than one treasure to loot, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to look for boxes that look just like this. Looks like a little cigar box or something like that. And when you open it up, that's where you're going to actually find carbon crystals. Now, like I said, it'll be in forts that have 2 or 3 spears. And also look around and see on the map if you find any treasures that have to be looted. And in those spots, you'll also find them, okay? As you go along, it's also really good that, you know, like, you're going to uncover the achievement or trophy for that anyway, for covering every single spot in the game. But if you find a treasure and it has something like this, like you see it's 2 of them, there's a good chance that right there may be more carbon crystals, all right? So look around for them in those kind of spots. Number 9, Ptolemy statues. Who does not want to smash the visage of Ptolemy and just teabag it a little bit? Okay? Well, unfortunately, you don't have to actually go and smash all these statues. Or actually, fortunately, when you're playing through the game, there is an achievement or a trophy for completing every item in every area of the map, okay? As long as you cover everything, you uncover every bit of the map, you go to every question mark, you resolve everything, you're going to get your 100% total and the achievement or trophy for that. But the Ptolemy statues actually do not have to be destroyed at all. You could actually leave them standing. But me, I want to destroy the statues, so that's what I do. But just in case you were ever wondering, you don't have to go and looking for all of the Ptolemy statues. Just do everything else. But if you come across Ptolemy, smash him and tell him I said so. Number 10, and finally, we come to silica. Now, silica is a material that you're going to find throughout the game, and it will help power up a bunch of the different machines that you come across in various tombs. Okay? And it gives you little bits and pieces of story from like what was going on in the first civilization up until now. So, in order to find silica, you're going to have to go into tombs, all right? You'll find them just spread out, just like that. This is a piece of silica right here, and you're going to pick it up. Now, you're only going to find like one at a time, but not one per tomb. You'll find several in a tomb, but the thing is that you're really going to have to look for it. That's why whenever I go searching through tombs, I always make sure that I do the Animus Pulse often so that I find all those little marks and stuff like that. And that's how you come across the silica, okay? Now, you got to keep in mind that the last machine that you're going to come across is going to require 50 of those. Prior to that, you're going to come across machines that have like 5, 10, things of that nature. There you'll see inside there's another piece of silica right there. So you definitely want to keep an eye out for this in the tombs when you're looking for like tablets and stuff like that. And you want to go into the tombs anyway, because tablets are going to give you one ability point without any experience. So if I find the tablet that's in this one, what's going to end up happening is you're going to see 3 ability points, not including whatever I get for like filling up this experience point bar. All right. So that's, you know, like my last bit of advice for this video. Please, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And in the comments below, just let me know. Did you find this video useful? Did you learn a couple of things that you didn't know? Are there anything else that you want to know? Do you want me to do like another 10 things that like you didn't know or possibly might not have known in the Assassin's Creed Origins game? Because I have no problem doing stuff like that. I have no problem trying to help you guys out. And I always enjoy doing these kinds of videos. It's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you guys. I'm here to help the community. So anyway, oh, here's another carbon crystal. Look at that. And it's inside of a tomb. Anyway, other than that, I hope you did enjoy this video. And as always, thank you for watching.